three types of stress: physical, chemical, and emotional. Physical stress, trauma, accidents, injuries, falls. Chemical stress, viruses, bacteria, molds, funguses, blood sugar levels, hangovers, whatever. And then you have emotional stress, traffic jams, internet connections, second mortgages, single parenting, 401ks, whatever. And all those things knock the brain and body out of balance. And so the three types of stressors that create imbalance, then you have three types of balance: physical, chemical, and emotional. So physical balance would be, exercise, Pilates, yoga, chiropractic, massage, acupuncture, something that would help the physical body. Then chemical balance, you eliminate certain foods, you do the right type of things, make better choices, take vitamins, take whatever, any chemical drug that help the body stay in balance, like a hormone or whatever. And then you have emotional balance, and emotional balance is regulating and dealing with stress. And it turns out that 75 to 90% of every person that walks into a healthcare facility in the Western world walks in because of a stress-related disorder, emotional stress, psychological stress. That's 9 out of 10 people, or 8 out of 10 people on the average. Because all stress ends up as psychological stress. You break your leg, you can't go to work. Physical stress, you have to take drugs, it changes your chemistry, now you're emotionally stressed. So when we ran the clinic, we were really clear that if you got 2 out of 3 of those in order, the third one would always come around. Get them more chemically balanced, more emotionally balanced, they're going to be more physically balanced. Get them more physically balanced, more chemically balanced, they're going to be more emotionally balanced. Get them more physically balanced, more emotionally balanced, they're going to be more chemically balanced, just the way it works. And the success rate was really great. But one of the things that people were doing is that they were thinking, well, okay, they were such a perfectionistic, self-judgmental, rigid, fearful person that was eating all the right foods, but they were super sick. Like they had food allergies, they had acid reflux, they had constipation, they had rashes. And you're wondering what it is that's causing this, and they're eliminating more foods and nothing's working because the body has been conditioned into fear. So the body is in a constant state of vigilance, an emergency, and the body's believing that there's some danger, some predator around the corner, and it's not a time to eat when you're in that state. It's a time to run, fight, or hide. And so people get switched on to these states, and they can do all that right stuff, and box themselves further into a corner. But the real issue then, if they're eating the most organic, food combining, ketogenic, vegan, zone, no water, the right enzymes, and all of that stuff, they're going to take all that food, they're going to break it down into amino acids, and then the cells are the signal from the cell is fear, so they're going to make organic fear proteins. They're just going to wear that because that's the signal. It's the chemical that's instructing and selecting the gene in the cell. So it's an important element then to address the emotional part, because there are events in our life that cause us to feel certain emotions, and we peer through the lens of our senses through those emotional states, and in a sense we're thinking in the past. So the body, if the body is conditioned emotionally into fear, it's believing it's in the same environmental condition, whether it's real or not. And so the body then, in a constant state of fear, is not a time to metabolize, it's not time for long-term building projects, it's not a time for growth and repair, eliminating, assimilating. It's emergency, the cell shuts down. So it's important for the person, we've seen this so many times in our research then, that they're sensitized to everything in their environment because they're mobilizing all this energy for some threat in their outer world. They don't have the energy in their inner world for growth and repair, and so they're sensitive to everything. And it's their emotions that are actually weakening and down-regulating the whole system. So then you throw in electromagnetism, which is now the fourth kind of stress, and the person's sensitized. Then you will see them sensitized to things in their environment because they're more prone or more victimized to their environment. And yet, when you recalibrate, we've seen this thousands of times. People break free from fear, and all of a sudden their digestion changes, their pain levels go away, their vision improves, their acid reflux goes away, their insomnia changes. The system gets freed freed from survival, and now the body moves back into homeostasis, moves back into balance. So I'm not saying that diet's bad. No, I eat well, and I take care of myself, and I exercise. It's all important, but in fact, I react. But the question is, how long are you going to react? That's the real question, right? So being able to piece it all together for a bigger model, I think it helps people then to be more